So this is the beginning of our quest, of our journey through the Major Arcana with the Fool, because it is the Fool's journey or the hero's journey, which is one and the same thing. If any of you are familiar with the Joseph Campbell's theory and book about the hero's journey, the fact that there is a pattern to our quests in life, to our transformation. When we go on and start something new, we start a new quest, then it becomes a journey of transformation. And the hero's journey and the fool's journey is one and the same thing. It's all about transformation in life through events, things that happen to us, how we deal with things in life. That's what transforms us, and that's part of our journey. So the fool and the hero, if you like, are one and the same thing in the tarot. And the fool, the number of the card, the fool is 0. Because the fool can really be at any point of this sequence. It is his journey. And I say his because obviously it's depicted as a male. It could be a female. You know, the fool is us, and it is our journey through the Major Arcana. So the fool, although is traditionally placed at the beginning of the sequence, at one point the fool was actually at the end of the sequence. Therefore, he could be anywhere. As I said, it's his journey. The fool is the quest, and it could be the beginning of a new quest, or the beginning of a new quest after the end of another quest. So it could be at any point of the Major Arcana. It could be at the beginning or at the end. But let's have a look at the symbolism first of all, because I'm jumping the gun a little bit. So it depicts a young person, a young man, in kind of quite flamboyant clothes, wearing a little sack of, of belongings, a little bag of belongings on a stick. He has laurel, I think, a crown of laurels around his head, and he has a feather, a red feather. He's carrying a lovely white rose in his hand. He's got the sun behind him and kind of sunny landscape with mountains, and there's a little dog at his feet. Looks like is yapping away, white dog. But the most remarkable thing about this card is that it looks like it's about to step off some kind of cliff, and he's not looking. He doesn't have a care in the world. He's got the most relaxed expression that you could possibly imagine. And he's just looking up rather than down. So the meaning of this card is a new beginning. It's literally taking a leap of faith, stepping out into the unknown, but with a confidence and an optimism that will see us through. Now, if we look at the symbolism of the card, the sun is shining on the fool. Everything around him is golden, and that means the intellect. That means kind of connection with the divine. He's connected to the divine by his red feather, which also means a bit of carelessness and a touch of madness. That's what it signifies. He's holding a white rose. Again, white comes up a lot in the tarot. It can represent purity. It can also represent it's alchemical. It's an alchemical color, so it's as opposed to red. So it can represent a connection with the divine, and he's carrying this white rose without a care in the world. He has a little white dog at his feet. The dog often can be taken to mean, again, divine protection, because the fool is so optimistic and so kind of carefree, almost like a child, like a little child has no idea of the perils out there, but is kind of full of faith in the world. He has a kind of divine protection about him. So there is something that protects him. His own faith perhaps protects him. What else? He's carrying a little tiny bag of belongings, and that means that we don't really need too much when we go out into the world, to follow our adventures. He doesn't have too much baggage. That's what he's saying to us. We don't really need too many material possessions. We just, again, is saying we need to just have faith. We don't need to be, it's not bogged down with, there are other cards where there are material belongings that kind of have an influence on us. So he's not tied down by material belongings. He's very much carefree. He's taken a leap of faith. He's the hero, the fool on his journey. And he could be just about to set off from his mountain, or he could have just reached the summit of that mountain and kind of admiring the view, ready for his next adventure. So because the fool is 0, he's always at the beginning of a new cycle. And the new cycle could be a follow-up from another cycle, if that makes any sense. So that's where it could be at any point of the journey. The Fool is always a new beginning. Now, what the Fool tells us, and it's a very optimistic card, is to take a leap of faith, is to go for it. There's a new beginning out there, and have faith. The sun is shining on you. Be a bit like a child. So if we see this as as a kind of coming of age representation, the Fool is very much the child, is the soul in its essence, as as an infant stepping out, the new soul. The negative or warning side of this card, because every card has obviously a negative and a warning, is to be careful, because you are about to step off a cliff there, and we don't know what's ahead. So there is a need for caution. Don't be too carefree. Now, the meaning will vary pretty much according to the question and to the other cards around the Fool. But the leap of faith is the main meaning of this card. Whether you should be taking it or not, obviously it will be given by other cards around it. What else? So that's the Fool setting off on its journey. The hero's journey, the Fool's journey, is about to begin. I'm wondering whether I've missed out anything else in terms of how the Fool is doing, symbolism. I mean, the clothes are quite flamboyant, so I think that's an indication of the character of the Fool. And I wanted to say a little bit more about the nature of the Fool as the infant soul. As I said, that's the sort of soul in its primal, undeveloped state, if you like. The soul is about to embark on its journey. So the Fool is the child in the sense that he has all the enthusiasm and the willpower, perhaps, and the optimism, but what he hasn't done is hasn't learnt any lessons yet. And I think that's what the precipice is there. Those are the lessons that he needs to learn. Now, how he learns the lessons, or how we learn the lessons, really is up to us, because we are the Fool. So the Fool is the infant, the child, and is about to step out into the journey of life, or its next adventure in life. And I'm going to put him back, because the next card in the sequence will be the Magician, and we shall have a look. Thank you very much.